Well, judging by the music, we've made it to the spooky Iceland. Alright, so, obviously, this is Iceland, there are ice physics. There are also these patooey plants. They just kind of blow on spiky balls and hopes that hits you. In addition, something I discovered while playing this level is their hitbox. Well, the spike ball hitbox apparently is just not a hurt box when you actually kill the enemy. I was positive that I was going to get hit right there, but no. You kill the patooey plants, and that spike ball is just like, oh, nope, I'm not taking on Mario. He's too strong for me. I can't defeat him. Alright, so we're going to start right on the end spade. And we've also got a new type of minigame tile over there, which we'll see after I screw this up, which, it's a new sheet, I'm sure I will. I was not looking at the layouts when I did these. Yep, there we go. So, basically, the diamond spaces. You did it! You matched 3 pictures! You must be excited for your lucky chance. And yeah, basically you just get a freebie. You know, it's only a 3-up, but you can't possibly fuck this up, so there you go. 3 free lives. So anyway, I mentioned before that I wanted to talk about the warp whistle because Princess Peach hinted at one before, and I think at the end of this world she's actually going to reference another. So the warp whistle is a special item that actually allows you to skip worlds. Basically, if you use it in World 1, you can go to Worlds 2 through 4, and if you can use it in one of those later worlds, you can skip over to World 7 or 8. So basically, there are 2 warp whistles in World 1 and 1 in World 2. World 2 was the one that Princess Peach hinted at, and is actually a part of the map that I didn't explore. If you break a rock, you can actually find a spot with a Fire Brother battle, which is not an enemy we've seen, but you can probably guess. They are the brother-type enemies, but they shoot fire instead of hammers or boomerangs. And defeating the Fire Brother will give you a warp whistle. However, the 2 warp whistles in World 1 are both pretty infamous, so you might already know how to pick those up. The first one you can get is in World 1-3, that white block near the end of the stage. If you hold the down button while on that, it actually lets you just fall behind the scenery of the stage, and from that point onward you can enter a secret room and grab the whistle. And the other whistle was basically shown off by the Wizard. The movie, The Wizard. It wasn't just a wizard manifesting in reality to tell us about a video game secret, and then disappearing again. No, it's the movie. It's that one movie that I've never watched, but is about some kid playing video games or some shit. Nice, got a hammer suit. And in the end, basically, this was actually a big deal at the time, but, like, basically the climax of the film was the competition the kid was in unveiled Super Mario Bros. 3, which, you know, had never been played before, and in fact was not out at the time of the movie, I think was the conceit. So, like, again, pretty big deal. They just showed off Mario 3 before anyone could play it, which must have been pretty rad. But, like, the whole thing apparently is that, like, the kid's falling behind, but, like, one of his friends or, like, the audience or whatever, like, knows about the warp whistle? Somehow? Okay, so, like, the warp whistle, the second one you can get is in the fortress. I think that's the one that gets referenced in the movie. And basically you just have to go, like, over a set of blocks, and you'll wind up in a room with the secret warp whistle instead of the boss. And somehow one of his friends just knew about that, and so he used the warp whistle, and apparently the competition was, you know, based off of progress in the game and not points, and also you could just cheat if you knew about it. I guess because inexplicably, how could anybody possibly fucking know about the warp whistle yet? You know, nobody read the Prima strategy guides. Those weren't out yet. How would anybody know? So if you could figure it out, I guess it was legal to use, but yeah, that's how you would know about that warp whistle if you watched the movie The Wizard. There you go, there's cross-promotion. Watch this movie and you'll know how to skip a bunch of worlds in the game. But yeah, those are the 3 warp whistles. There's also a glitched one you can get in the Japanese version in 5.1, but that's a glitch in a very specific version of the game that you cannot replicate in the US version of Mario 3 or any of the All-Stars remakes. But yeah, figured I'd mention the warp whistles here because we've just got a whole lot of ice stages. You kind of get the gist of them. The main difficulty comes from the fact that you're slip-sliding a little bit. But I've actually been having a pretty easy time with them. Skipped over a bunch of some of those stages. But yeah, if you ever have trouble with the game, just pick up the warp whistles, skip to the end. Actually, the wiki I'm using says that you can't actually use the warp whistle to get to the final world of the game unless you use it in World 7, but I'm gonna be honest, I swear I remember only picking up 2 warp whistles and going straight to the final world of the game, so I mean, I guess to be fair, a wiki would probably know better than me, but I feel like I've definitely only used 2 warp whistles, because I have never gone to that Fire Brothers. I've never bothered with the Fire Bros. In addition, I don't think the Fire Bros appear as an overworld enemy at any point. Because, you know, you got the Hammer Bros, you got the Boomerang Bros, you got the Sumo Bros. But we're just back to Hammer Bros here, and they are Hammer Brothers. It's not just a case of the overworld sprite showing one thing and it actually being the other. It is a Hammer Bro and not a Fire Bro, which would make more sense here, I would think. You know, here's the fiery bro that keeps itself warm in this Arctic climate and just destroys your internal body temperature by taking you from freezing to too hot. Oh, here's a level I can talk about. This one sucks because it's a trial and error level. We do get to see the way these enemies move, and I don't think I let them do that before, but yeah, they are kinda cute, but also I just think they look very goofy while throwing blocks, and that is the reason I made note of them before. So if you get to the end of the stage, you get a free leaf, and you get looped back to partway through the stage. So, of course, there's your very subtle hint that you have to fly into one of those holes in the ceiling in order to actually make progress. You gotta use fly, and you basically just have to figure out where you need to go. Or you could use a map and just know. I went through the false exit in order to just show off how this level works, but, you know, you need to grab a Koopa shell, not hold on for too long that the Koopa respawns in your hands and punches you in the face and removes your ability to fly. You have to have that shell, fly up to that spot, and use it. It is kind of a finicky puzzle level. Well, maybe not finicky so much as it is tedious, because you have to figure out where to go and then realize, oh, you've got to save a Koopa without throwing its shell away, and then bring it back. And make sure not to die to timing out, because that's a very real possibility in that stage. I don't like that one, and in general I think it's most people's least favorite stage. I mean, to be fair, especially if you played Mario 3 as a kid, kids are dumb. How are you going to figure out the solution to that easily? Kids only know about trial and error either through stubbornness, or if somebody tells them it's a trial and error thing in the first place. Otherwise, they'll just be stubborn in a different way, a different non-helpful way of just trying to get to the end loop again and again, and not experimenting with the holes in the ceiling. You're asking Kid Me to be smart? You must be joking. I've only got like one more brain cell than Kid Me. What did you expect her to do? I guess this is also just the episode where I see all my favorite enemies actually do the things that I like about them that makes them goofy. Because if I remember correctly, we also didn't get to see what spikes do. They puke up spike balls and throw them at you. That's the animation. It's gross, but also kind of goofy. I like it. Also, this is a situation in which Fire Flower actually would have been more useful than Hammer Suits. I was missing with a lot of those hammers. You've got a lot of different ways you can attack with the Hammer Suits. Depending on, whether you're jumping, whether you're running, that can vary on where you actually throw your hammers, and it makes the Hammer Suit pretty useful because you can get a lot of hard-to-reach places with that thing. But in that case, I just was not very accurate with my shots at all, meaning that, it would have just been better to use the Fireball. The way the fireballs bounced, they could have hit those spikes in the low ceiling area, and it would not have been a problem at all. Oh well, not like it matters. I got my no-hit run, and that's what's important. You can also skip a whole-ass level here if you use the hammer on that rock, but as always, just be careful about your inventory usage. Because if you use up that item, but then you fail, you have to do this level anyway. That is the kind of risk you get when playing Mario. Of course, if you're doing some kind of all worlds but not all levels type of speed run, that's just a useful tactic, because if you fuck up, you fucked up the speed run anyway. So just use the hammer there. I don't know if that's the most efficient run, or if that's even a run anybody bothers with, but I don't know. Sounds like a run people would do. Naturally, of course, there are speed runs where you just use the warp whistle to get to the end, because, if it's any percents, you might as well. I know I've been talking over it, but actually this stage is pretty tough, huh? It's an auto-scroller, and it's got fire chomps. That is pretty much the recipe for a difficult stage, in my opinion. Fire chomps make everything more difficult. We've also got that kind of tricky jump at the end with the donut block you have to take down, but then jump off of it. Because there is a pit down there, you could die. I did not, however. Very clearly. Alright, so what is this fortress stage? Oh, this is the Maverick Thwomp stage. I don't know if sideways moving thwomps have an actual name, or if Nintendo just refers to them as sideways moving thwomps, but that is a Raukhoism that I feel like will stick with me forever. Just, they don't move like normal thwomps. They're Mavericks. They move side to side. They don't have arms to swing, though, so they can't do the Mario, which is probably why they're so mad. Maverick Thwomp is a good name, though. Anyway, though, outside of Thwomps acting slightly differently, that's not a particularly difficult stage. I feel like the way those Thwomps are set up, it communicates very well that these are Thwomps that do not move normally, so you're not going to be caught by surprise. And because there are no normal thwomps, it's not like it's going to try to throw a mix-up at you, right? You're not going to see a sideways moving thwomp and think, but what if it's just a normal vertical one? No, it's always going to be horizontal. Always horizontal. Of course, though, Mario fan games that utilize that kind of thwomp will absolutely throw both types together. Are you kidding me? Hacks don't give a fuck. They'll put all kinds of thwomps together. They're madmen. They can't be stopped. Vertical and horizontal thwomps? Impossible. Nintendo's just standing to the side shouting, "No! No!" And then the fucking sicko fan game creators are just in the window going, "Yes! Ha ha ha, yes!" Anyway, here's the non-ice level in the ice world. It's the ice level where all of the ice melted. Or maybe it's just a very thin layer of permafrost. Usually you can kinda see a permafrost, but I don't know, I can't look directly down into the grass. I need a Mario's eye view of what's actually going on with the grass there. Can you see frost on top of it? I don't know. Certainly it wasn't dewy enough to make the stage slippery. Didn't just have perma-dew down there. Also, this stage has bloopers that send out their babies in just impossible patterns. It killed the baby, however, it did try to shoot it towards the surface. It just went, baby attack, go! And just spiraled its babies out. This is just the baby stage. We've also got the Big Bertha enemies that just kind of puke up their kids. They take much better care of their kids because they don't launch them to their doom. Unlike bloopers, who are awful. I mean, come on. Bloopers are normally pretty bad, but they also can't even take care of their kids. 0 out of 10 worst Mario enemy. No respect for anybody, not even themselves. Alright, so over here we have a level 10 in a fortress, but is there a level 11 waiting between this and the castle? Will Luigi get his chance to shine? And we're back to just a normal ice stage now. No water, no grass, so this is more or less just what we've been seeing for the entire world, right? And of course we should also, we have blocks that you can unfreeze if you have Fire Flower. Obviously these blocks are coins. Those blocks, however, are Nipper enemies, which Princess Peach was warning about in the previous letter. The ones that, if you unfreeze them, they'll just try to murder you. Completely ungrateful, but, maybe they just liked being frozen. These are Nippers that just want to be cryogenically frozen. They don't want to be released. Why did you assume they wanted to be free, Mario? They want to live to see a future that they could never reach by their own power. Alright, so let's see. Got another flip game, and then we've got the fortress. So, begs the question, is there going to be a World 611? We don't know if there's a 611, between that fortress and the castle, but if there is, Luigi's gonna take this next castle. At the very least, he'll definitely be taking a fort, which is what he typically does. Luigi's the fort man. He just does the forts. And then Mario's like, oh, but I got the airship! I did the most important thing, so I get to do the next world. Now let me start at the next one. Come on. Alright, this fort is partially skippable. I do not remember this one, probably because I skipped it. Okay, so it's the Boo Bar stage. We've got platforms that can become dangerous when the boos form on them. That's just about it, though. We've got boos, we've got Boo Bars. And that's it. We've also got Potobos, or Potaboos, I guess. They're Portaboos in this situation. We've also got this weird segment, which is an elevator where you're supposed to dodge boos, which is very easy if you just get to one side of all of them and look at them. There you go. You've exploited the weakness of the boos. It was easy. And then of course here's Boom Boom. So yeah, very easy stage. I flew over most of it and did not have trouble with that elevator because, I'm gonna be honest, how could you? It's easy to just look at all three of those boos at once. Oh well. Alright, so time for the unveiling. Nope, no 11. It's the castle. Luigi loses once again. Alright, so this time around, the king is a Monty Mole. In the original version, he was a seal and was very cute. He was balancing the crown on his nose. I'm gonna be honest, I kinda like the King of Iceland in the original more. The seal's adorable. Monty Mole is just kinda shifty. I don't trust them after Mario World, but, sometimes these things happen. Oh, and already I don't like this Airship Stage. Right, this is the one where you kinda have to use the screw platform. At the very least, you have to bring them far enough to make the jumps, but there is no way you can use them fast enough to actually get them to the end of their thread, because the auto-scroller will kill you if you take that long. Other than that, we've just got this section, which is pretty tricky for an auto-scroller, but not too bad. Honestly, in general, this one is just kind of zigzagging everywhere, so you have got a lot of stuff to get through. You know what? We're at the end, but this is a pretty difficult one. Alright, so our next boss is Lemmy Koopa. Instead of doing the normal magic attacks the other Koopalings does, he bounces on a ball and also sends balls out, so much like Wendy, he's got a different projectile type. And these, while you can damage them, I forget if you can out-and-out kill them. But yeah, they linger between hits. You can't erase them by hitting Lemmy. So, a little difficult to deal with, I gotta say. Lemmy puts up a fight. Alright, so this king right here, I much prefer his original sprite in the NES version, because his mustache just looks like a mouth. So it just looks like he's going, "Oh!" It's great. Anyway, yeah, this is Princess Peach mentioning the first warp whistle you can find, but I already covered that, so I guess we'll be talking about something else next time on Mario Advance 4.